Hey there, Python enthusiasts. Welcome back to our channel. Today we've got an exciting topic for all you beginners out there, tuples in Python. If you've been working with Python lists and wonder what makes tuples different, you're in the right place. We'll break it all down and provide real-time examples to make it crystal clear. So, grab your favorite coding snack and let's dive right in. All right, let's get started with the basics. First things first, what is a tuple? Well, a tuple is one of Python's built-in data types, and it's used to store a collection of items in a single variable. Imagine it as a container that can hold multiple values. A tuple is a data type in Python that's quite similar to lists in many ways, but there are two crucial differences. First, tuples are typed with parentheses instead of square brackets. Let's create our first tuple. Let's say we want to store some numbers in a variable called numbers, and we use parentheses to create a tuple. Now we will store some values inside the parentheses. Voila! We've just created a tuple. All right, tuples are super useful, and sometimes you might need to create one with only a single item. Here's how you do it. Okay, I'm going to write some code right here. First, we'll create a tuple with just one item. Let's say we want to store the name of a fruit. I'll call our tuple single fruit, and I want to put apple in it. Looks pretty straightforward, right? We used parentheses to create our tuple, and we put apple inside it. But there's a tiny important detail we missed. So in Python, if you want to create a tuple with only one item, you need to add a comma after that item. Without the comma, Python won't recognize it as a tuple. Now, let's print this and check what type of variable we've created. We'll use the print and type functions to do that. Let's run this code and see what Python thinks. Oops! Python recognized it as a string because we forgot the comma earlier. See, this is why the comma is crucial. But don't worry, let's add that comma and try again. So, let's fix this. I'll add the missing comma and run this code. And there you go. It's a tuple now. See the difference? With the comma, Python knows that we want a tuple with one item. So remember, if you ever need to create a tuple with only one item in Python, always include that little comma after the item. It's a small detail, but it makes a big difference. So tuples are like these versatile containers in Python that can hold all sorts of data types, from strings to integers to booleans, all in one cozy package. So picture this. We're about to create a tuple that's like a mixed bag of goodies. I'm calling it my tuple, and it's about to get a bunch of different data types thrown into it. We're talking strings like A, B, and C, and an age represented by the integer 35, and the truthfulness of the statement with a Boolean value true, all snuggled up in a single tuple. Now here's the cool part. This variable, my tuple, is like a treasure chest that Python identifies as a tuple. But it's not just any tuple. It's a tuple with a twist, a tuple that holds a variety of data types. To prove this, let's check the type of our variable. We're going to use Python's trusty print and type functions to unveil the magic. This will not only display the contents of our tuple, but also tell us what kind of variable it truly is. Let's run this code and see what Python thinks. And there we have it. Python, the magical wizard that it is, recognizes our variable as a tuple, despite its diverse contents. That's the magic of tuples in Python. So, to sum it all up, tuples are like a canvas where you can paint with various data types. They're versatile, flexible, and oh so much fun. Now, the most significant thing about tuples is that they're immutable. That means once you create a tuple, you can't change it. You can't add new things to it, and you can't remove what's already inside. And another cool thing is, tuples are orderly, just like arranging your book collection, and they don't mind if you have more than one of the same book. That means tuples allows duplicates. Imagine we want to create a tuple to keep track of the days of the week. We don't want this data to change because, well, the days of the week don't change, right? So a tuple is the perfect choice. So here we have a tuple to keep track of the days of the week. Look at that. We've got our days neatly tucked inside a tuple. And guess what? It's not going anywhere. Now, let's explore how we can access items from a tuple. It's as easy as picking out your favorite candy from a jar. You can do this using something called indexing. So, in Python, indexing starts from 0, just like the first page of your favorite book. For instance, we can create a variable called first day and set it to days of week with index position 0. This means we're grabbing the item at the 0th index position of our tuple. Let's check it out and see if we're able to access the items from the tuple using this index trick. Ta-da! We access the items just like we would with a list. But remember, once you create a tuple, you can't change its elements. This is unlike lists, which are changeable. Just to prove our point, let's try to modify our days of week tuple. We'll attempt to change a day to new day. But guess what? We're in for a surprise. Tuples don't like to be changed, and Python won't allow it. Let's see this in action. Run the code and see the result. Oops, we got an error. As we said before, once you create a tuple, you can't change its elements. It's like a trusty guardian of your data. So there you have it, adventurers. Tuples are like those timeless treasures that don't change and love to keep things in order. If you enjoyed this Python journey, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, subscribe for more adventures, and ring that notification bell so you won't miss our upcoming expeditions into the world of coding. If you have any questions or need further guidance, drop them in the comments below. Let's dive into another concept about tuples. All right, so now we use why tuples over lists in Python. Okay, now we're shining a spotlight on tuples and discovering why they sometimes outshine lists. Get ready for some real-world examples that'll make you appreciate tuples even more. Let's kick things off with a superpower unique to tuples: immutability. When you create a tuple, it locks its contents in place. Nothing can change them, not even accidentally. Imagine you're a cartographer, charting the North Pole's exact location. You'd want those coordinates to stay put, right? Let's define the coordinates of the North Pole using a tuple. I am creating a tuple called North Pole Coordinates, with the latitude 90 and longitude 135, representing the coordinates of the North Pole. On the left side, we have North Pole Coordinates. This is like a label we're giving to a special treasure chest where we're going to store something important. On the right side, we have 90, 135. This might look like any old set of numbers, but it's not. It's a tuple. Tuples are like unchangeable treasure chests. Once you put something inside, it stays exactly as it is, no matter what. In this case, our tuple is holding the coordinates of the North Pole, latitude 90 and longitude 135. You might wonder why this is useful. Well, think about it. These coordinates won't change. The North Pole isn't about to up and move somewhere else. So, tuples are perfect for when you have data that should stay put. Now, here's where tuples pick up some speed. They're faster than lists when it comes to accessing elements. Why? Because Python doesn't need to do as much memory juggling. Think of it like searching for a book in a well-organized library. If you're working with a vast data set and need quick access, tuples are like turbochargers: quick, efficient, and always reliable. Here's another superpower. Tuples make excellent sidekicks for functions. You can bundle multiple values into a single argument, which can be a lifesaver when you're trying to return more than one thing from a function. Let's say you're playing detective and need to reveal a person's name and age. At the heart of this code, we have a function, which is like a recipe for our computer. It's called getPersonInfo. Let's see what it's cooking. We define a function called getPersonInfo. Think of it as a magic box that gives us information about a person. Inside the box, we create two variables: name, set to Alice, and age, set to 30. These are like ingredients in our recipe. The function then returns name and age as a pair using return name, age. This means it's giving us both the name and the age when we ask for them. Now that we have our magical recipe in place, let's see how we use it in the real world. We create a new variable called personInfo. We call our getPersonInfo a function, just like ordering a dish in a restaurant. The function goes to work, and it gives us back a tuple with two items, name and age. This tuple is stored in our personInfo variable, like packing our delicious meal in a takeaway box. Now, let's unveil the magic. What's inside our personInfo variable? We use the print function to display the contents of our personInfo variable. Let's run this code and see the result. And there it is. Our computer shows us the treasure inside the box, the name and age of our mysterious person. The tuple collects those details seamlessly. And last but not least, data integrity. When you choose tuples, you're choosing reliability. Your data remains rock solid, perfect for situations where accuracy is paramount. For example, think about something that should never change, like the number of days in a week. Using a tuple, you can lock it in place. You can trust that value to stand firm. So, in a nutshell, why would you choose tuples over lists? When you need to store data that's as unchangeable as the North Star. When speed is of the essence. When you want to bundle multiple values into one, or when you demand unwavering data integrity. Lists are fantastic, flexible tools for when you need to shape and reshape your data constantly. The choice between tuples and lists depends on the unique needs of your Python adventure. If you enjoyed this exploration into the world of tuples, show some love with a thumbs up, subscribe for more Python adventures, and ring that notification bell so you never miss a thrilling episode. Got questions or want to share your own tuple or list stories? Drop them in the comments below. Until next time, happy coding, and may your Python journey be filled with exciting discoveries.